A very good day to all of you. In the lesson today, we are going to talk about another subtopic of grammar, which is modals. Some of you might have never heard about modals, but I believe you use it every day in your daily life when you are using English language. So modals would be words or verbs like shall and should, um, may and might, will and would, can and could, and also must. So normally in our daily conversation when we are using English language, we must have used modals to deliver the messages in our sentences. So modals would be words like shall, should, may and might, will and would, can and could, and also must, and they are also verbs. Um, one rule that we need to know when we use modals is that when we have a modal in a sentence as a verb, normally the other verb that follows would be in the base form. For example, when I say in a normal sentence, he goes to school every day, and then when I ask a question, for example, should he go to school every day? So when you have should, the verb that follows is supposedly to be in the basic form. So goes become go, although he is one person. And when you are asking a question like this, so that is when you have a modal. So the same rule applies to other modals, other modal verbs that we have here. So another example would be she cooks every morning. And when you ask the question, can she cook every morning? So that means the verb, although the subject is singular and the verb is when you have an s in the verb, but because you have can here, the modal here, so there is supposedly no s in the question that you asked. So the same goes to other type of verbs, whether you have ing, s, d, or ed. So it has to be in the base form. So that is one rule that we need to adhere when we are using modals. So a different situation, which is an exception, of course, when you say should he be going. So in this case, of course, you can have ing in your verb because it is the structure is different from this one. So should he be going, because you have a be verb here. So that is okay to have ing or s or ed in your question or a sentence. So in the lesson today, we are going to talk about when do we use the modals here? In what kind of situation do we use these modals? So we are going to take a look at this table over here. So first, let us take a look at, I will make the, I'll make it bigger. All right. So when we are talking about ability, when we are talking about ability, the models that we use would be can or could. So what is the difference between can and could? Basically, other than past tense and present tense, both can and could, they actually can be used in the present. So let's say in the present time, you say, I could do that, although you are talking about the present, or the future. So I could do that, so that means you are referring to your ability in the present or the future. Of course, when you are talking about the past, you use could instead of can. But other than, for example, you're talking about something that happened yesterday, I could, for example, when you were small, you say I could play piano very well. So of course you don't say I can. I could play piano very well when I was small. You use could instead of can because you are talking about the past. But could can also be used when you want to talk about the present or the future. When you are talking about your ability. So I could climb a mountain. So that means in the present or in the future. So you can also use can. So it is not limited to present tense and past tense. So I can or I could reach the ceiling. When you are talking about the past, of course, you use the verb could, the modal verb could. I could swim for hours when I was young. So you cannot say I can because we are talking about many years ago. So ability is something that you can or you cannot. So negative, so this is positive. Negative, you say I cannot reach the ceiling or I could not reach the ceiling. And could not can be shortened to couldn't. So I couldn't reach the ceiling. Next, the other situation would be when you want to talk about logical conclusion. So what is a logical conclusion? So logical conclusion is a conclusion that you make based on your logical feeling based on the particular situation. Let us take a look at the examples there. It is raining heavily outside and he must be really wet. So that is your logical conclusion. So it is raining heavily. So logical conclusion is that person must be really wet because it is raining heavily. So when you are making a conclusion, a logical conclusion like that, you use the modal must. So it is raining heavily outside and he must be really wet. If we are talking about making a logical conclusion in the past, must have. So, she looks smart. She must have gotten all A's in all subjects. So you think that person is smart, so you say in your logic, you're making a conclusion using your logic that that person must have gotten many A's in her examination. So that is a logical conclusion in the present and also in the past. Let us take a look at the next one. The next situation would be probability. So what is probability? So probability is when you say probably. So the probability of something to happen. So it might happen or it might not happen. So it is a probability. Also, you use must. For example, when you say it has been a long journey, you must be really exhausted. So the same thing like a logical conclusion for probability, you also use the modal verb must. But what about possibility? So possibility is it is quite similar to probability, but possibility is when you are talking about whether whether it is true or false, whether you can or you can't. For example, she might be correct. What she said seemed true. So she might be correct. Or she may be correct. So may and might, they can be used to talk about the same situation. But of course, when you're talking about the past, you use might instead of may. But might can be used to talk about a present situation. So let's say you're discussing the present, you say she might be correct because what she said seemed true to me. Possibility in the past, may, might, could, or could have. So perhaps we would say might or could have. Why did you have to walk? I could have picked you up. So that is a possibility. So possibility that the person might be correct, and also possibility that you could have picked that person up yesterday or last week, perhaps if you were free to do that. Next would be what kind of situation. So you have a continuous situation. So continuous situation like when we have present continuous or past continuous. So the focus when you use continuous is that you want to say that that person is in the process of happening, could be doing. So where's Sarah? I don't know. She could be doing her homework. So of course, when we say continuous or progressive, we have ing. So that is the modal could plus be plus ing. So she could be doing her homework. So she could be in the process of doing her homework. So she could do her homework. Yes, that is correct. She could be doing her homework. That is also correct. But the focus is you want to say that that person is in the process of doing something. Next, continuous in the past. He must have been studying hard all this while. His results are excellent. So must have been studying. So of course you have ing. So must is the modal plus have been studying. So you don't use has. He has, that is correct, but when you have a modal, has becomes goes back to the basic form, and the basic form of has is have. So he must have been studying hard all this while, or he could have been walking, or he could have been cooking, he could have been doing something. So you're talking about something that is in the process of happening in the present and also in the past. When you want to ask for a permission, of course you say can, you use the verb can or may. So can you help me with this task? To be more polite, you use the word please. May I use your computer please? So you use can or may to ask for permission. When you want to make a suggestion, you use either can or could. For example, you go to the clinic and the doctor is not there today. So the person at the counter tells you that the doctor is not in today. You can or you could come tomorrow at 5. So when we use can and could, when we want to talk about suggestion, we can also use can and could other than talking about ability and also possibility and asking for a permission. So that is suggestion. So when you want to make a suggestion, you can use can or could. Necessity. So the next one is necessity. Necessity is something that you need to do or some other people need to do. Also, you use must for this one. You must be careful. So it is necessary for you to be careful because perhaps the place where you are walking, there are a lot of snakes. So you use the modal verb must. And next would be regrets or mistakes. So when we have regrets, when we have mistakes, of course, we are talking about past situations. So because it happened in the past and then we regret the mistakes that happened in the past. So we use should have. I should have given him some money. It's quite a long journey. So that means you regret that you did not give the person some money. So I should have given him some money. Of course, it is wrong to say I should have give or I should have gave or I should have giving. So those are all wrong. I should have given. So that is participle, past participle. I should have given him some money. It's quite a long journey. So you regret of what happened in the past. So you think you should have done something in the past. Next, past action that was not taken. Could have. So it is quite similar to regrets. So he could have done something to help her, but he didn't. So this is something that you should do or you think you should do in the past, but you didn't. So he could have done something to help her, but he didn't. So it is quite similar to mistakes or regrets in the past. Next is future. Will, for example, can be used to talk about the future. So don't worry, I will pick you up tomorrow. So that is talking about what would happen tomorrow. That is the future. Don't worry, I will pick you up tomorrow. And also will, you can also use will because you want to be polite when you are asking for help, for example. So will or would. Will you open the door for me, please? Or would you open the door for me, please? So those are another situation where we use will or would. And the other will is for future condition. And the last one is when you have a condition. Condition is a situation where if something happened, then something else would happen, or if something happened, something else wouldn't happen. For example, you have the word if, you have the preposition, you have the conjunction if in your sentence. I would buy the house if I had enough money. So I would. I would buy the house if I had enough money. Or you can also rearrange the position of the sentence. If I had enough money, comma, I would buy the house. So that is a condition. The condition is if you have enough money, then you would buy the house. So we are talking about something in the past that you wish to happen in the past but never happened. Because you didn't have enough money and you didn't buy the house. So you say, if I had enough money, I would buy the house. So we use had because it is a wish that you want to happen in the past. So if I had enough money, I would buy the house. So that is a condition. So those are the situations. These are the situations. Different situations. Sometimes they are similar. Sometimes they are totally different. Those are the situations, or we call them as functions, where you can use modals. So make sure whenever you are writing, whenever you are speaking, think about the modals that you use. Are they suitable to the situation that you are referring to? When you are talking about probability, are you using the correct model? When you're talking about possibility, are you using the correct model? And also, do you use your models in your sentences grammatically correct when you speak, and also when you do your writing? So that is all about the topic, and let us recap. So we have talked about modals or modal verbs, and those are the modal verbs that we have reviewed, like shall or should, mean or might, will or would, can or could, and also must. So that is all about the lesson today. Thank you very much. I'll see you again next video.